Good morning, students. Again, we are going to continue with our chapter, that is crop production and management. Before starting today's session, we are going to have a recap. So, in our previous session, we have studied what do you mean by agriculture practices. The activities which are done by farmer in his field for the cultivation of crops or for the growing of crops are called agriculture practices. Now, the first activity which is done by farmer is the preparation of soil. In the preparation of soil, the three activities are done by farmer. As you can see in the picture, that we have all the agriculture tools like plow, hoe, and cultivator. In the preparation of soil means turning of soil or digging of soil is called preparation of soil. We have already seen all the advantages of plowing of soil. Now the plowing of soil is done by either plow or hoe or either tractor driven cultivator, as you can see in the picture. After the plowing of soil, the leveling of soil is done by the iron leveler or wooden leveler. As you can see in the picture, the iron leveler is attached to a tractor. Now the second activity which is done by the farmer, that is the selection of good seeds. As you can see in the picture, the seeds which are floating on water in a beaker are the damaged seeds, and the seeds which are settled down in a beaker are healthy seeds. Now after the selection of good seeds, the third activity which is done by farmer is sowing of seeds. Now the sowing of seeds are of two types, means in two ways the farmer can sow the seeds into his fields. First one is the broadcasting method. Broadcasting method means simply scattering the seeds into the plough field. As you can see in the picture, the farmer is scattering the seed into the field. But this method is not good because there is no proper spacing between the seeds and no proper depths. So what will happen? The scattered seeds on the surface of a soil can be eaten up by the birds. Now the second method is a seed drill method. There are two types of seed drill. One which is attached to the bull, and the second one which is attached to a tractor. The tractor driven seed drill has advantages of saving time and labor. But in the case of bullock driven seed drill, you have one long iron tube having a funnel. Through that funnel, all the seeds are gradually released from the funnel and are sown into a single row made by plough. But in the case of tractor driven seed drill, it has 5 to 6 long iron tubes which is attached to a common funnel, and the seeds are gradually released into 5 to 6 rows of soil simultaneously made by plough. So in this way we can grow crops of wheat, gram, maize, millet directly into the soil. Now what are the advantages of seed drill? The advantages of seed drill: the seeds are grown at proper space and with the proper depth. All the seeds are sown in a regular rows, and the seeds get covered by the soil. Hence, they cannot be eaten up by the birds. And in the case of tractor-driven seed drill, which is always preferred to save time and labor. Now, again one question arises, why it is necessary to irrigate the fields to irrigate the fields or to wet the fields before sowing the seeds. Now, sometimes it is necessary because so that the seeds can easily germinate, roots can easily penetrate deeper into the soil, so that the roots can easily absorb all the nutrients through water from the soil. Now, in some cases, transplantation. In some cases like paddy, tomato, chili, transplantation is done. Now, what do you mean by transplantation? Transplantation means transfer of seedlings from the nursery to the main field. As you can see in the picture, farmer is carrying all the seedlings in his hand and sowing the seedlings into the main field. Now again question arises, why the transplantation is done? Transplantation is done to have all the healthy crops, to have a good yield. Okay, now the fourth activity which is done by the farmer, that is adding manure and fertilizer, which again comes in the first activity also in the case of preparation of soil. But this time we are going to learn manure and fertilizers in detail. Now, first of all, what do you mean by manure and fertilizer? The substances which are added to the soil to increase the fertility of soil or to increase the nutrients in the soil are called manure and fertilizers. Now, why they are added? Normally the farmers growing crop after crop in the same field. Then what will happen? Then all the nutrition from the soil are absorbed by the crops. Then how it can be replenished? By adding manure or fertilizer, we can replenish all the nutrients in the soil for the good yield of crops. Now, we are going to learn in detail about the manure. What do you mean by manure? Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant and animal waste, which is carried out by the microbes, bacteria or worms. Normally, farmers dump all the plant and animal waste into a pit, which is decomposed by bacteria, microbes or worms, and after a few days the decomposed matter can be used as a green manure or vermicompost manure. As you can see in the picture, how the vermicompost manure is prepared and how it looks after a few days. Now, what are the advantages of manure over fertilizers? Yes, normally the farmers who want to do the organic farming or who want to have a result for a long time, they use green manure or vermicompost manure. What happens when they are using manure instead of fertilizer in their field? First of all, it makes the soil porous, through which exchange of gases takes place. Second advantage, it increases the number of friendly microbes. Third one, it improves the texture of soil for better water retention capacity. Fourth point, it adds a lot of organic matter like humus to the soil, which is required for the growth of crops. Now, what do you mean by fertilizers? Now things come. Fertilizer is basically an inorganic salt which is prepared in factories and which is rich in a particular nutrient like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. For example, if the farmer found that my field is lacking of nitrogen, or the soil which is present in my field is having less nitrogen, either phosphorus or potassium, so he is going to use a particular fertilizer which is rich in nitrogen or either in phosphorus or either in potassium. As you can see in the picture,